Hi everyone, it's Marilyn. I'm Gloria. How are you all? Gotta move my hair out of my face. I don't know about you, but I'm a little tired today. I'm not really sure why, so I'll figure that out. As you're all gathering up and joining me, remember we are going over the answers of the symbols exercise. And I'm going to talk about a few things, just some things to get you motivated, get you going, get you started. But mainly I want to talk about the symbols exercise. So if you didn't do the exercise and you're just starting to watch this, go to let me find out what date it was. Because, one day I'll be organized, really organized with these Facebook Lives, which is going to happen soon. It was on the 7th. Hi, Pia. So on June 7th, I did a Facebook Live on this page. You can find it by scrolling down. Hi, Bjorka. And we did this incredible symbols exercise using papers that everybody had to do for a week. So if you're just joining now and you're like, I didn't do the symbol exercise, hi, Alice, then go to that video on June 7th and do the symbol exercise and then come back and watch this one. And you could do it over a 24-hour period or a 7-day period. It doesn't matter. The reason, so I want to know from the people that are joining, if you did the exercise, because I know most of you were on with me last week, how it worked for you, what you found, what you discovered, and I'll take it from there. I'm going to do this more of a Q&A today type of thing. But the reason why I do this exercise with the pieces of paper, hi Christine, I'm just a little tired today. The reason why I do stuff like this is when I teach a lot, right? And when I was teaching in person, which I'm going to start doing again coming up, probably the fall or next year, I would have people, like 8-10 people around the table, right? And we would all fill out a question and put it in a bowl, and nobody knew whose question was whose. And we'd pass around the bowl, and you'd pick out the question, right? And this is how you practice doing readings for other people. And you would write down everything you got. And then you would open up the question, and most people would be like, oh, wow, I got so much. And then they would write more, right? So if you're struggling, hi Adina, if you're struggling in your life and you can't figure out what decisions to make, which a lot of you are going through, like I am seeing a lot of you ready for that next step or next level, and you don't know like what to do, where to go, what to say. Maybe some of you are a little clouded over. Sue, don't worry about if you flunked the class. It's totally fine. You don't know, like some of you are a little clouded. Let me know right now. Let's put this in the thing, and then we're going to go to this lesson that you did. Do you know what you want to do in your life? Write that down. Do you know what you want to do? And that's okay, Anna, do you know what you want to do and you don't know what the next step is, or are you confused and don't know what you want to do? So I want to hear where you guys are at. Do you know what you want to do, but you're just not sure of the next step? Or are you a little clouded about what you want to do? Because that seems to be the two tracks that people are on. So I want to hear where you're at. And for those of you who I didn't get to review mine either. Whoever just, I think it was Anna. I didn't get to review mine either yet. But for those of you who did, I want to be able to help you and guide you through this for this lesson. But let's also add stuff in for those of you who are joining and didn't get to do the lesson. Let's really start getting you focused and clear about how to get your life into a place where you really truly want to be living. So one of the most difficult things that I think that happens is you may have a dream in your heart, right? And you really, really want to make it happen, but you have bills to pay, you're working at a job that you're afraid to leave, it's your security, and it's really hard to get to that next step, that next level. And many times what screws people up or what confuses people is they just don't know what it is. So they think that it's too difficult. They think like it's too hard to jump ship. I can't leave this job, and it's going to take me a couple of years to build up my certification practice or my yoga practice teaching or my mediumship, whatever it is that you're working on, my coaching program. So you just stay stuck. You don't do anything because you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. You don't want to do that. You want to start bridging the gap from being here where you have the dream and you're maybe working at the job that's paying the bills to here where you're really living what you want to be doing. And all these games and tools and techniques that I teach are ways for you to start incorporating the type of life into your system, into your day, without maybe doing it full time just yet. So I want to read your responses, but I want to say this real quick. For me, right, so I'm shifting my business a lot right now. I'm pulling myself out of one-on-one readings. We're introducing Sue Kovacs. There's a lot of people on my waiting list to go to her for readings. I'm only waiting for people that are in Membership for Your Soul or and I mean recurring clients that I've had. I've needed to do that for a while now, and I'm finally doing it. And I'm expanding into teaching more. I want to do mastermind programs with people like you who really, you probably have a little bit more money and you really need direction and focus. Like there's stuff that we're figuring out now what the next level is. So for me, even as a medium, my income for the longest time was through readings. I was always teaching, always. But a lot of it, large portion of it was from readings. And I had to take the risk and start shutting the door. And I was thinking about it this morning. So the first way I started shutting the door was I stopped doing readings on weekends, right? So I started taking back my life, what was good for me. Because it wasn't like I wanted to quit right away, but I wanted things to stop. So I stopped doing readings on weekends. Then I stopped doing readings at night because I am not good at night. I don't want to be working with people at night. I'm really good during the day. And then I stopped doing readings in person. And it was just phone. And with each thing, my business really didn't shift until I stopped doing readings in person and only had a couple of slots during the day, like lunch hour. That's when I started seeing people trickling off. You know, maybe my list I wasn't 6 months booked in advance or 8 months booked in advance. And it was a little panic stricken for me. I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? What's going on? And what I noticed was when I was reviewing my books, my income in online classes was going up. So even though I was a little bit in fear because I was shifting and changing, so the universe was supporting me. Now, I'm still in a transitionary state. I'm not going to lie to you. So there's still moments of, all right, how is this? I got to get this out now. I got to do this marketing. I got to do that, and there's a little bit of that, like that trust factor that has to come in. But what I want to help all of you, and this is a long-winded saying of what I want to say, is the thing that really helps me to stay inspired are all of these tools. It's doing the journaling in the morning. It's the channeling and the meditating. This morning I journaled, meditated, ran, and went to yoga. And I was done I was up at 5:30 this morning, so I was up kind of early, and I journaled for a really, really long time. But I think I was in the shower by like 9:30 or something, right? So that is 4 hours of doing that stuff, but it was really great. But the thing that I want to teach you is I want you to not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Oh, I'm here and I'm doing this job and I'm paying my bills and I really want to be here. And I can't be there yet because I have to study or do the marketing or learn what I need to learn. So I'm just going to stay here. And I don't want you doing that. I want you to start incorporating things from this life. And what things are from this life are whatever, say you're going to be a yoga teacher, you want to be a yoga teacher, well, it's taking more yoga classes or going across town or finding a yoga studio that does certifications 1 week in a month like mine does and lets you do a payment plan, or it's doing an online course, or it's making sure you have a meditation practice every morning. Another thing that's really changed for me, and I promise I'm going to your responses now, is Spirit said to me, we want you losing all your friends, most of your friends. And I said, oh, but there's going to be a lot of blank space there. What do I do then? That's how I said it to them too. I went, oh. But I knew it was time because I was not energetically happy with the plans I was making with some of the old friends I had. I was bored. I was like, oh, I'd rather be home on the couch. So I trusted them, leaned into I have a secret for you guys, leaned into my guides. Can I tell you something? I mean, it took a little while. It didn't take too long, as much as I thought. But I have all these new friends now. Like I'm invited to I have so many amazing things I'm getting invited to, and I can't do 3 nights in a row, which actually I'm doing. I went out last night. I'm going Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm not a partier either. I'm like in bed still at 10 o'clock. But there's such amazing things that I'm like, oh, I got to choose now. That's what I want to show you, how much your life can change. So let me see some of your comments here, and then let's go to this. So for those of you who have this, and because the comments sometimes are low, and you had questions about what you got or tell me what you got in this, start writing that in. But let's just go here, or we could do that in a minute. We'll do it in a few minutes. So Pia says, because I was asking this question, I know what I want to do, but the next steps are a myth, right? So that's why you want to start getting into these things. Yeah, Anna, I can definitely explain what I mean by leaning into them. It's a big, big thing that my guides asked me to do. Hi, Jasmine. So leaning into my guides means trusting them fully and surrendering. So there were moments a couple of weeks ago, because I'm making a lot of shifts and changes, where I was like scared. You know, I'd be watching TV, Hallmark, my new channel, because I don't have to think. My brain is so tired these days from all the stuff I'm putting in it. And I would be sitting there going, ooh, I have to pay that bill, you know? And then I'd hear my guides say, lean into us, lean into us. And I would kind of almost like literally lean and just feel their support, feel their love, feel that they were taking care of me, feel that I didn't have to worry about it, that I would just surrender to them completely. Hi, Kamal Devi. So that's what I want you guys to do, to like surrender it. That's what it means, lean into us. All right, let me keep going here. Christine says she knows but doesn't know the next step. Sue says, I know what I want to do, but not the next step. Great. Viorica says, I know what I want, but I don't know how to get there. Yay! Not yay for you, but it allows me to create content for you. Because I'm doing lives every Wednesday, and we're going to start doing an Autobot thing where you know where I'm at and when. And I'm going to create content to help you guys, free content for this stuff. So I'm so excited. Vesna, hi Vesna, I wrote this 5 minutes ago. Hi Marilyn, I have a problem with finding a career direction, I believe you're saying. Should I use my education, my intuitive and healing abilities, or totally shift direction? It is my wish to find a job as soon as possible. What is the fastest way to a good paying job? So here's the thing, there's two different things going here, Vesna. When you have a dream in your heart that's using your education, your intuition, your healing abilities, those businesses take time to build. They really do. Now, they can happen right out of the gate. I'm not a negative Nelly, because my reading stuff happened pretty much right out of the gate. And I believe that for everybody. I know there's some mediums out there. It's like, you got to be in spirit circles for 8 years before you dare read anyone. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, get those mediums out of my face. But what I will say is that I know marketing. I know online marketing. I know marketing for my business. I know what it takes to build an audience, especially with all this noise in the space. So what you really want to do, Vesna, is make a commitment and a promise to yourself that you're going to get a bridge job that isn't taxing, that you don't hate, and that pays you the bills and frees you up so you're not like exhausted when you come home at night, allows you to do what you need to do and pay the bills, and you're going to make a commitment and a plan to create a career using teaching, education, intuition, and healing. But when we get caught up, this is where I find a lot of you, I haven't worked in a while. We get caught up with, when you're in that place of, I haven't found a job. Almost every time I ask somebody, I say, because you really don't want the job you're going for. And they're like, yeah, I don't. But if you promise Spirit, okay, I'm going to do this job for 6 months, Spirit. Just give me a bridge job that's easy. But I promise to commit to you and work on my career. You can do it. Trust me. I did this when I was at NBC. And I was a senior profiles manager. That's all those 2-minute pieces. I was in charge of all the budgeting, the locations, the sending people out, all of that. Making bank at my age. And it was such an incredible job. NBC was so good to me because I was still going to the gym. I was still going to my acting classes. I had a plan. I had a vision. I'm going to share a Lewis Howes thing that I want you to see that I shared in Soulful and I shared in my membership group, and I really suggest you watch it. So that's what I say to you, Vesna. Okay, I want to keep moving on because I want to get to this, and I have readings today. Okay, Victoria, my little Victoria, did the exercise and received many symbols at the beginning, but slowed way down within a few days. Haven't reviewed yet. Great. That's okay. We can talk about how you can review now, so I can help you for those of you who didn't review, because I got to review too. But it does slow down. In the beginning, it's like, woo! And the reason why it slows down, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you have to watch the June 7th video, which, by the way, was my half birthday. So it slows down. Like, I didn't have to fill in other pages because your spirit, your guides know you have to learn something. So many times in readings, you don't, or when you read for yourself, you don't necessarily get the whole answer. You get the next phase. So your soul is growing in some way, right, Victoria? So Spirit's saying, this is all you need right now. Unpack this, learn what this means, then go to phase 2. So we'll do that in a minute. Okay. Let me just see what else is it. Sue McCarthy says, which is easier for you, readings by phone or in person? For now, in the beginning, when I was doing both, they were both great. They both had their own thing. I prefer phone because I'm not having the person do this in front of me or this, because I do a lot of future readings. So a lot of times it's like a majority of the reading people don't really know what I'm talking about. They confirm things in the beginning. So I find phone is great because I don't look at them. I'm just speaking. But in person is fine too because that's how I started. Okay, great. Let's just see if there's anything else. So this is a good question. Kamal Devi asks, I have a question. What is the difference between leaning in your guides and inaction? Is inaction just saying I want X, Y, and Z and doing nothing? Yes. To help yourself, including neglecting that combo with your guides. Exactly. So leaning in and surrendering is an active surrendering. So what that means, when I surrender, I'm surrendering the outcome. They know I don't give up on the vision. I see it. I write about it. Super important to know your vision. Whenever you get off track and you're depressed and you're sad and you're tired, which happened to me Monday night, I went through a thing like this, is because I lost my vision. And I had to get back in and like write my goals again. And what am I doing? And get back into my vision. And then I do the thing. So surrendering is God, spirit, universe, you're going to bring it to me any which way you can. I trust you. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to probably be even better than I imagined. This is what I'm focused on. And then you surrender with action, which is you listen to the inspired steps. Like today, just running and going to yoga was an inspired step for me. Going out to dinner with the producer of Detours, which I'm going to share the Detours tour that I did. I did a ghost tour for detours.com. And I have an affiliate link soon too. You'll get a free tour. So last night, I pitched an idea to her that just came to me. She loved it. It's like just surrendering and listening to them. Hi, Jessica. All right, so let's get to this. I love the exercise. This is Glynism. And I had a shift into action in the beginning. I did something with my crystals just prior to beginning this exercise, and I believe both exercise and the full moon allowed for the movement. I also noticed when I was resisting some symbols. I opened the questions yesterday and smiled at which questions got which symbols. Now what? Great. So I would like you and anybody else who did this already to ask me questions about the exercises. So when you get symbols and it gives you more information, there's a couple of different things that you can do. I just want to, so anybody who actually did the exercise and got to review it, let me know what you learned, and then I will help you further on. So I'm going to pass by the people who haven't had a chance to do it yet. That's okay. Stay on. We're still going to talk about great stuff. So Pia says, I noticed whilst breaking down and getting an answer out of the symbols to my questions that the ones which just flew in like that, thoughts, words, songs about meditating and going into my perfect light to connect my higher self, were more helpful and direct as the others. Hello. It's a conversation with your guides. It's so easy. And we are so trained to look outside ourselves, which is part of the symbol exercise, like what's showing up. And when we just go to them and work with the visualizations and trust the thoughts and the words and the songs, which is inspired action too, which is what I'm trying to talk to you about, intuitive inspired action. When you trust that jumping into your system, it helps you to go forward. Okay, so for those of you, promise part was missing, okay. All right, just want to see, and I think, want to see people, the exercise lesson answered it at the beginning of session. Great. Okay, so what I want you to do for anybody now as you go on, and we can talk about this again, and then I'll take some questions and stuff from you guys. But so for those of you who did the exercise, I didn't do it either yet. I didn't finish it. And you wrote down all the meanings to the symbols that you got, and then you opened up the question and you saw it. There's two things you can do. One is you may just have another question that now comes from this understanding. You're building, it's a domino effect. What I want to get you guys out of, and I see this a lot, I love telesummits. I still do some of them. I turn down, I do some of them. We'll just keep it at that. But I find that sometimes I'm just going to say it. I find that sometimes there's a training out there that you just need to do this and you're healed. No, we're in evolution. We're evolving. So what may happen is when you understand this, you may say, well, now I want to know, like, how am I supposed to write that book? Like it says, definitely write the book, but what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to write that book when I'm raising 3 kids and I got a full-time job? That might be your next question. The other thing you can do is you could read out loud all the things you got and circle the words that make your heart like they hit your heart, right? So I'm like, white butterfly, spirit is always with me, is what I wrote when I got it. So if I'm reading that, white butterfly, spirit's always with me, I would probably circle spirit and always. Like that just strikes me. Then you go on a separate piece of paper and you would write spirit. And then you could look at the definition for spirit, or you can look at the symbolic meaning of spirit, or you could just Google spirit and see what comes up and what touches you. Or you can just ask yourself, what does spirit mean to me? And then always to me, I love the word always. It sounds beautiful. It feels romantic. It feels intimate. It feels committed. So I would write all that down next to it. And then I would look up the definition for always, because our words are so diluted. It fascinates me to go to there must be like, definitions must be diluted too. There must be a great little dictionary. I don't know what the best dictionary is to go for definitions for the most organic sense of the word, but it's great reading the definitions of always, of it, because it opens up your mind in a more way. What this exercise is also teaching you is how to see things differently so that you're not doing this. How many of you do this? I know I'm guilty of it sometimes. All right, let's see what else. So ask me any question you want right now. That's the exercise. That's how you can stop hiding my face. That's the exercise. That's how you can go further into it. You could ask another question and do it again. You could do it for a day. You don't have to do it for 7 days. You could do it for 1 hour. You could do it whatever. You could do it with your own thoughts. You could do this and do an automatic writing exercise. I'll teach that another time because that's going to be too much to teach right now. Or you can do what I said, read it out loud and circle the words that speak to you and then put that on a separate piece of paper and see more understanding. If anybody's confused, let me know. All right, and if you have any questions for me, now's the time to ask because I have like 10 minutes left. So Adina says, I think I know what I want to do, but every path towards it that I've tried so far seems to hit a dead end. I'm so glad you're asking this. After a while, now I'm at what feels like the nth career shift, the 9th career shift, the nth degree. And even though it feels right, I sometimes wonder if this is going to stick for longer. Well, so I'm breaking this down a couple of things. I'm going to go to your last question. I sometimes wonder if this is going to stick for longer. That's a little bit of a story in you, like when's the shoe going to drop? If it feels right to you, I would suggest start changing the habit and leaning into it feels right for me. I'm trusting that this feels right for me. I'm going to lean more into that. So that's what I'd have you do. It's not uncommon to go after dreams and have yourself hit a wall many times. And what you have to ask yourself in those moments, I want to get you guys out of, oh, that's the universe telling me it's not for me. I'm just going to give up. I want to get you out of that. I did it, so I can say it. What I want to get you into is, why is this happening right now? What is the universe preparing me for? Maybe they're preparing me for a better opportunity, something even greater. Or maybe they're showing me that there's another way to do this. And I'm just so focused on the disappointment now that I'm not seeing the expansive view. So, this happens with many different things, you know, but like, so with television for me, right, hitting the wall with it, you know, networks are like, we want her, here's the deals, we've got 2 deals on the table, blah, 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 and then nothing happened, right? So instead of, I learned, because I was in so many network meetings, and I learned not to, after the first 2, I was like, all right, I'm getting over this disappointment. I'm not living my life like this. And what it instead did for me was made me go inside and say, well, for the longest time, because TV has been around me for so long, for the longest time, I've been waiting for that egg to hatch. I'm done with that. So what do I need to do? What's going to inspire me? What's going to make me happy? What's going to make me joyful? What did I think I was going to get from having a television show that I can give to myself now? And it made me work on my work business to what got me out of like doing the things I didn't want to do in my business anymore. It got me building Membership for Your Soul, which is my favorite program because I'm getting to know people and really work with them. Hi, Denise. And yeah, we'll talk about that. And it made me do what's better for me. Like I started going to tennis and I started like my whole perspective opened, going to yoga certification. And then last night when I was talking with the producer from Detour and I pitched a show, I'm doing a sizzle reel with Cycle Kids. And all of that is just in there. Like whatever God wants me to do, just show me. I'm fine with it now. As long as I get to do what I love to do, which is teach all of you and help motivate you, then I'm happy. And I get to live the life that I love living, which is going to yoga, playing tennis, going running with my dogs, and doing the things, writing and building content, then I'm great. So I hope that that helps you. All right, let's see what else is happening here. Jasmine says, hold on, sorry, Jasmine. What is the trick to jog down thoughts? I think I keep asking the same question from time to time. I have thoughts to come to me, but I often not realize those thoughts unless it comes true, like I got confirmation. Otherwise, I just brush them off. That's a really great question, Jasmine. You have to start tuning in. Now, you're in membership, so definitely, I don't know if you watched the intuitive lesson this month, definitely start working with your intuition. For me, what happens is I would suggest for now you write them all down. You get into the habit of writing down the thoughts that come in. You're going to know an inspired thought because it's got a little bit of excitement with it. It's got a little bit of electricity with it. It's got some really great energy to it. And what will happen, though, is I'll write down an inspired thought. I'll have a morning of complete inspiration, like, oh, I got to do that, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And I drive Laura and Trisha a little bit crazy because I'm like, I'm a content person. Content comes through me, and I'm really just me focusing on membership. And even though I'm creating content for membership, of course, there's other programs they're always showing me. And instead, I write it down, and then I know what I need to go back to. Spirit just lets me know. So some of those things are for later. So you've got to, like, I would put a color to your thoughts. That's how I would do it. And I would know if blue, like what I taught in the intuition lesson, is blue is a really inspiring thought. Even if you're not feeling it, but the color, the thought, when you think about it, it's showing up blue for you, or you're hearing the word blue, write it down. If it shows up black and black isn't that great for you, then let it go. It's practice. So, but if you don't write them down, and Mel Robbins talks about this, talks about in the, I think with the interview with Lewis Howes, I can't remember, it might have been a TED Talk. If you don't write it down, and Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this too in her magic book, then it goes away. It can go away. And then somebody else is doing it. And you're like, why didn't I do that? Now, writing it down also allows more momentum to build, and it allows you to create, more stuff. So I hope that helps you, sweetie. Let me know if it doesn't. You're in membership, so just let me know. Nicole, I don't know if you're still on. This is a reading question. Will I go to court at all this year, and will it be on my behalf? Please and thank you. There's a lot of fear around this for me, and a lot of like, I can't breathe. And a lot, so what I'm going to say to you, I'm not hearing that the answer is no or yes, because I feel like there's some work you have to do around this right now. So it feels to me like things can be in your behalf, but you're kind of focused on, something that's out of your control. Now, some things are like out of our control, but Spirit wants you to take it back home. What can you do to bring things back into your control? What can you do to help yourself through it? What can you do to not make this be the kit and caboodle or the answer to everything? It feels to me like you have to do a little bit of that first before it works in your behalf. So many times we think like things are completely out of our control, or we focus on, for the lack of a better word, the negative or the pessimistic or the story that we've had in the past. And we can change the direction of things through vibration and understand the deepening of it. What I want everybody to stop doing is pausing and waiting for something to happen in their life. So Nicole, I feel like I have to guide you to live your life right now. So what are you doing to live your life right now so that this isn't the answer or the only answer? Now, I don't know what you're struggling with. It's not coming through to me. I feel like it might be a job thing or a disability thing. I'm not really sure what it is. There's obviously, if it's in your behalf, it could be that, or it could be a divorce thing. I don't know what it is, but I feel like you're not thinking clear enough. I've been in court situations before, and if you're not thinking clear enough, then you can't even help the case. And people think cases are shut and closed, opened and closed. They're not. I won a court case, like by the fourth or fifth time. They appealed it a couple of times. And I won it because I paid complete attention, stayed open, did not get into the person that I was fighting. I just ignored them completely and said something to the judge. And he was like, that's it. And he gave it to me again. So that was, I sued a company that sold me a couch. So that's what I would say to you. Okay. I'm going to go on. Let's see what else we have here. Hi, Laura. Laura's new to membership. There's a VIP list. So if you want it, sometimes the doors open briefly, very briefly. This is the first time we've done it. And Laura, I was just reading your email too. I'm going to get back to you on this. So I was really excited to see why you joined. So just so you know, it's a wait list. People have been on it for months, and sometimes we open the wait list for VIP people. So if you want to join membership, get on that wait list. You also get a free, really cool chakra class, and we're going to start giving people on the wait list some other free things to keep them happy. All right, let me. Sue too. Hi, Sue. Yes, I read your email too. I think I just responded to it, sweetie. I'm super excited about what's going on there. I'm super excited about membership, and I'm super excited to get you guys more organized in taking the next step in your business. We're going to be implementing new things. It takes time to build the content, that's all. All right, let's see. Hi, Nikki from Athens. Denise. Question being how I create time blocks for spirit work and business build when the spirit work feels so good and fun. Biz work would be too, if the more clear blueprint for the clear vision formulated. It's a really good question, Denise, and I know Denise too because she's in membership. It's very difficult. I found it, for me, I love the marketing of it. Not everybody does, right? So for me, it was exciting. My guides told me 2 years ago to start studying with real marketers, real people that know the business, and I did, and it was the greatest thing. So what I do for me is you really do have to do blocks of time. So what I would suggest you do is do a block of time where it's spirit work, and then go to, like, maybe directly right after that, because you're in the inspiration of it, go to a podcast like Amy Porterfield's podcast and go through all her podcasts and pick one, whether you think it relates to what Spirit just told you about the spirit work or not. Go to it and take notes about like the action-oriented step that Amy tells you to do in the podcast. She gives tons of information for free. And then, Denise, act on it in the next 48 hours. So that's how I would suggest you do it. And let me know, sweetie, if this works for you. Tell me your membership. But I would do a spirit block, get creative, have fun with Spirit, ask Spirit to show you which podcast to go to or which book to pick up or which lesson to do, marketing-wise, because I know your business idea and it's a phenomenal idea. And then watch that for 30 minutes or listen to that for 30 minutes if you can do that much of a block of time, or make that the next thing on your schedule and then take action in the next 48 hours. Let me know if that helps you. Thanks, Sony. Let me see who else is here. So Rushan says, in a previous reading, you had a name James. At the time, I did not know him. He represented the key symbol I had. I met James a few months ago. He's not a love interest. Hoping he will help with my next career opportunity, open doors. Great, Rushan. So whenever we meet someone who we are hoping that they can help us with the next career opportunity, which is so great. I have no problem with that. That is wonderful. What I want you to also do in that energy is not make them source. So they aren't the kit and caboodle. I love that one for everything, right? But they have an energy that you really like, that you've been inviting in, okay? And so you want to keep remaining open to that. You don't want to become powerless to it. And then, okay, they're talking to me, sorry. And then they want you to then stay open to that. So they're asking me to tell a story. So Rashawn, hopefully you're still on. So I have an opportunity. I've got invited to something pretty amazing tomorrow night. And I'm going, and I wrote the woman back when I got the invite, because another friend brought me in, and then and I wrote her an email back saying I understood her audience and everything like that. And then I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe that sounded competitive, and of course I would never come from that place. And then I said, well, she's not my source. She's not God. The universe is just showing me that what I've been asking for has shown up. I'm excited for this opportunity. But whatever happens between us happens between us. And if she doesn't like what I wrote in the email, then she's not the one. And then I got an email right away, a funny little email. She wrote back, very sweet woman. And I wrote back a thing, and I'm going to meet her tomorrow night with a bunch of people. So that's what I want for you. Okay. And this is the magic of what's going on in my life. Like Spirit kept making me get clear about my vision, what kind of friends I want to have. What do I want to be doing with my life? What do I want to be doing in my career? And then I take the inspired action, or I do the things that make me feel really good. And then they start showing up, and then I'm able to meet the opportunity. So for those of you who've been hitting a wall, I was hitting walls too with certain things because I wasn't yet ready to meet the opportunity, right? So if this opportunity came in maybe 3 years ago or whatever, 2 years, I don't think 2 years ago because I was pretty strong in this place, I might have been like, oh, I can't go. I'm going to stand out. Like, I can't be around those women. I would have maybe had that kind of feeling about it, not feeling worthy. And I don't have that feeling. I'm like, I'm going in, man. I got a lot to say. So that's what we want to do for you. All right. Somebody else asked a question. Anna said, can you speak more about doing channels? Then I'm going to end. Channel sessions every day. Do you allow info to come in or do you ask questions? Great question, Anna. I ask questions a lot of the times. So because I have a lot on my mind and I'm working through a lot of stuff, I sit down, I do grounding cord meditation. People in membership know this because they've been taught it. And then I open up my chakras and I bring them in. And then I ask them questions, right? And I record everything because I'll never remember what they tell me. And this is how I've been doing lately. So I'll ask them a couple of questions in the beginning because I need clarity and I need that stuff out of my way so I could get to the deeper stuff. And then many times they'll move me into a deeper portion where they just start flooding in information. Not always. Today was one of those days where it was just back and forth, we're done, we have nothing else for you. And then I go on my merry way. Sometimes, and I'll go in and I'll just, very rarely I do this, and I need to do this a little bit more, but I used to do this where I would just open the space up and let them bring forward whatever they wanted to bring forward. So you can do it any different way, but if you've got a lot of things on your mind and you're trying to get help, then that's how I do it. And then I move myself out of the, I'm always out of the way because they have to come in, but then I'll let them talk to me. All right, I'm going to take 2 more and then I got to go. Great, Laura. So then we'll really be able to help you also in membership. So, you've got Laura's doing a lot of amazing stuff. I just learned about her, yoga and, I can't even remember everything else that was in there, but it was such an incredible email reading everything, and Sue too, writing. And it's so great to see like your dreams are in your hands. And it's not uncommon, no matter where we are in our lives, to have our dreams in our hands and still have moments of confusion with them, or not knowing what the next step is, or making time for it, right? Things like that. Like, it's not uncommon. So I just want to say that. Maki, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in so long. I wasn't really doing readings, but I will for you, sweetie. She says, wow, you're doing readings. Awesome. I'd like to ask you about a stalker. My ex has been stalking me and doing all kinds of email hacking, putting my information with pictures, nasty comments, etc., even though I've reported to the police. Okay, sweetie, first of all, I want to say to you right now, you need to, and this might be Mama Bear coming through because I've worked with you for a while. She was in a mentorship program I did. You've got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. I had the same problem with an old boss, and I went to the police. They told me what to do, and then I had to go to another police officer, and she told me what to do, and my attorney told me to get a court order against him. I didn't do it, and luckily he hasn't bothered me in a long time, just because I'm not as scared. I'm just like, I think he's an idiot. I think if I saw him, I'd hit him in the face. But if you're at all scared or anything, I want you to make sure you're taking care of yourself and do that. She says, I've reported to the police. This is a reason why I cannot get a relationship. The negative energy is boarding my love life. Can I have a loving relationship without having the man interfering? Yes, that's your belief system. So you're probably, going through a lot of stuff, sweetie, right? Because somebody's stalking you and writing horrible things about you, and maybe they have a little bit of guilt in there. When we have stalkers, if anybody's experienced this, I know for me, they can manipulate your mind in a way where, or say things to you where you're like, did I do that? And you can get confused, momentarily confused, and you got to get very clear. So for me, sweetie, this is about you. You clean up your space. You clean up your side of the street. You know that you're ready to receive love. You know that you're feeling love, that you want to be with love, that you're ready for a great relationship. Right? That, you need to maybe do a little ritual around this guy, get rid of him, burn a piece of paper, do that stuff, and then write the perfect thing that you want in your relationship. Because if you pulled him in for a reason. And if he's still around your field, he's in for a reason to teach you something about making different choices and better choices. So I don't feel like it's going to stop you from having your love, but I do feel like Spirit's teaching you something great. All right, taking one more question and then I have to go. Hi, Thomas. How are you, honey bunny? I haven't seen you in so long. So you all know, so there's a couple of things that are going on. I'm just making sure if there's anything here. Oh, here. Geo. Marilyn, when I was doing this exercise, I felt more on the flow, and somehow I was convinced this is the way for me to get messages from spirit. Yes. What do you think? Get there for me regarding this. If it works for you, and I understand you're just asking for confirmation, sweetie, but if it works for you, go with it. Because this will only lead you down a path to further information and further ways of doing things. So it'll lead you down a path to, sorry, they're talking to me. Sorry. Sorry, this isn't about you, sweetie. This will lead you down a path to further your own life. So this may lead you down a thing, then all of a sudden you're seeing something else. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to read those tarot cards, or I'm going to go do that pendulum work, or I'm just going to meditate and start talking, and I don't need this anymore. So definitely do that. That's great. All right, guys. Love, love, love you. They want me to show you my new tattoo, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I'll reveal it next week or the week after, but I have my first tattoo. I got my first tattoo Monday, and I will reveal it soon. I promise. Not that you care, but it's fun for me. I don't know that you care at all. Anyway, so thank you so much, everyone. I have a kind of house question. I can't find one in the area I want. Do I have to move out of the area to find the house? Jessica, whenever people come to me with real estate questions, it's more about, it may be a timing thing, and I don't know how much time you have, but it's more about continuing to see the house that you desire. So when I was looking for my house, I knew I wanted it in Sherman Oaks. That's where I live, right? So I was looking at Studio City, Valley Village, but I always kind of knew in my mind I would find it in Sherman Oaks. That's where I really focused on. And so I would just suggest that you just continue to focus on that, honey. And then write down the qualities. I knew what I loved in Sherman Oaks. So write down the qualities of what that neighborhood gives you. And then say to Spirit, you know, if there's a neighborhood like this out there that you know that I'm going to love, show it to me, bring it to me. Because I was open to other neighborhoods, and I just needed to make sure that I was in a proximity of shopping, and I was in a proximity of hiking, and near freeways and stuff like that, because it was my first home. I didn't want to be out in the boondocks somewhere. All right. Love you all. Thank you so much. Remember, every Wednesday at 12 noon, what I want you to write in the comments is really what you want me to teach you. So we've done this before. I've been gathering it in Soulful Living. Make sure you come over to Soulful Living with your guides, because I am getting more active in there. So come over there, join that Facebook group. It's a private group. You can talk more. I have moderators in that group that I completely trust, and I'm in there too, answering questions. But tell me, like, especially around the career thing. So you have a dream in your heart, a business that you want. What do you need help with getting to the business? And if you don't know what it is you want to do, let me know that too. And that usually is attached to your joy, where you